Tonight's show is brought to you by...
Hey you, fat boy! That's right, I'm talking to you, fatty! Sitting at home on lockdown and you can't keep your hands off your quarantine snacks? No social interaction besides talking to your delivery driver? No physical activity besides walking to your front door to pick up food and picking up your spoon to shovel it into your fat, disgusting face? At this rate, when this is all over, you're gonna need to cut the roof off of your house and lift you out with construction equipment just to get your fat ass out of bed. Extreme times call for extreme measures, and nothing's more extreme than the revolutionary Chuck It Bucket. Look, it's the only nutrition plan on the market that is 100% sure to make you lose weight, no matter how much garbage you cram into your mouth. And that's the Chuck It Bucket secret. So chew it up, spit it out, and shed it off. Cause it's quick, it's easy, it's guaranteed.
Chuck It Bucket is a registered trademark of the Peppercorn Corporation. Chuck It Bucket cannot guarantee weight loss, happiness, or an increased quality of life, and is not responsible for any possible side effects, including anorexia nervosa, bulimia, rumination, or avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. To order, visit facebook.com/chuckitbucketdiet today.
Hello and welcome to the War on Morons, episode number 23. I'm Anissa.
And I'm Jay.
Thanks so much for tuning in. It's officially April, and we're looking at a full month ahead of coronavirus lockdown.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but things are getting pretty weird down here, and in the headlines.
Even with stay-at-home orders in place, the morons have been out in full force.
And thank God, because that means we've got plenty of non-coronavirus stupidity to cover this week.
Whew, thank goodness. We are so excited to tell you all about this week's stories, not to mention our special guest tonight, Bin Hamin, who you might just know from shows like The Conspiracy Horseman and all over Hamin Media Group, as well as on Russo Brand.
Yeah, we're really excited to have Ben in as a guest, so make sure that you catch him later on in the show. But before we get started, we always want to remind you to make sure that you don't miss an episode. Subscribe for free on Podbean at thewaronmorons.podbean.com. And if you do follow us there, you actually get episodes a little early.
Absolutely. Sometimes as early as 3 days before the show officially drops every Monday night. So if you can't wait to get your fix, make sure you subscribe.
And if you want to be on the show, give us a call. Our call-in line is always open, 813-906-9099. If you catch us live, we'll bring you on the air. But if not, feel free to leave us a voicemail.
We always love hearing from our listeners. So go ahead. Tell us about your local morons' latest antics. We can't wait to hear from you.
Yep.
Now, are you concerned that you're slowly going crazy, cooped up inside of your home during the coronavirus lockdown? Well, at least you aren't quarantined with the guy in our first story of the night. A Florida man attended a party where he ran into Colin Gieb, who he described as being a friend of a friend.
That's always a good thing in Florida. A friend of a friend. It never ends poorly.
Well, it started off poorly. Gieb was pretty drunk. He didn't have a way to get home, and he couldn't provide his address. So the Good Samaritan took him back to his place so he could sleep in a spare room and have a safe place to be.
Moron, idiot, loser. Why would you ever bring someone in? I mean, that's really stupid, but is that really good enough for a lead story?
I mean, it gets better, honestly. Sunday morning, after all of this took place, the unsuspecting victim heard suspicious noises coming from his spare room, and when he walked in, he found Gieb peeing everywhere in the room. When he asked him to leave, Gieb instead came at him with his penis out and attacked him.
Come at me, bro.
Whoa, not like that. I mean, honestly, it just goes to show there is such a thing as being too nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you bring somebody in from the cold or whatever, you don't want them to mark their fucking territory on your floor.
Or your walls.
Yikes.
Meanwhile, in another Florida town, a gender reveal party sparked...
You know, a gender reveal party is actually what the last story was.
What?
Well, he came at him with his penis out.
I'm pretty sure he already knew he was a man.
You can never be sure. It's 2020.
Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry. Go back to the story.
A gender reveal party sparked a 10-acre fire. So this blaze occurred actually in the same county as our last story, Brevard County, Florida, after somebody decided that the best way to announce the sex of their unborn child would, for some reason, involve the use of tannerite and a weapon.
You know, I thought Joe Exotic was from Oklahoma.
Oh, that definitely seems like a Joe Exotic move.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking this was about him. Or that bitch Carol Baskin.
Oh my god. Luckily, neither of them seem to have reproduced, so fingers crossed. For those who are unfamiliar, tannerite is a brand of binary explosives often used as rifle targets. So whether it's a boy or a girl, one thing is for sure. The parents are expecting a big bundle of badassery.
Yeah, that baby's gonna, like, fire its way out of the womb. It's gonna launch out like fucking Evil Knievel.
Well, while we're on the subject of unnecessary badassery, 2 married men in Kenya fought to the death over a woman using machetes.
Must have been some woman. I mean, usually over there they just, like, trade a cow for them.
How did you know they were cattle traders?
What?
Yeah, they legitimately were cattle traders.
See, I knew I didn't have to read these stories. I just know things.
Oh, man. Well, anyways, I bet you didn't know this. One of the guys had his neck completely severed and died on the spot. The other died after arriving at a nearby health center. Now, a witness said that the 2 men had been cohabitating with the same woman, who's a mother of 3, for the last 2 years without knowing.
See, this is what happens, you millennials out there, when you get these thruples. You know, you think you've got 2 guys, and the next thing you know, you don't have any because one of them got their head chopped off.
I mean,
and the other one bled to death at the damn hospital.
Good point. But, like, the point that I really am focused on is the fact that these guys lived with this woman for 2 years and somehow never noticed each other.
Well, that's what happens when everybody's in quarantine. You know, before, maybe one of them traded cows at the nighttime market and the other one traded them at the daytime market. And, you know, they just kind of passed each other in the street and had no idea. But, you know, this coronavirus has everybody all cooped up in their houses and all secrets are coming to light.
Oh, man. Talk about an insane story. Okay. Looks like we're actually getting our first call of the night here.
Yeah, it looks like 216 here. Well, here, I'm just going to bring him on. Caller, state your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Nadine. Where did you say that last story took place with the machetes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guys in, I think it's somewhere in Africa. Looks like it was in Kenya. They fought over a woman with machetes.
Africa, that's where my boyfriend lives.
That's where your boyfriend lives? Okay.
Yes, he's in Papau New Guinea. Rajabu, if you're out there listening, it's your little dumpling. I love you.
I don't think anybody's listening in Papua New Guinea. You know, that's in, like, Asia.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in Africa. But either way, I was gonna go visit him this week, but it turns out with the coronavirus, nobody's been able to fly out there.
Okay.
I really miss him.
I've got to ask you, Nadine, you're calling from what looks like an Ohio area code. Did you visit Papua New Guinea? Or, I mean, how did you meet this guy?
I met him on Facebook. He added me as a friend. He's so handsome. And I just couldn't believe he was interested in me. His family owns the airline in Papua New Guinea. But with all the coronavirus, all his money's been tied up. So now I'm having to spend all my Social Security so he can buy toilet paper.
Oh, whoa, hold on, Nadine. I don't know how to tell you this, but well, let me just ask: have you ever? What's his name again? Rajabu. Have you ever met him, like, in person?
No, like I said, I was gonna go visit him this week. We were gonna get engaged, but everything that's been going on is really thrown a wrench in the plans.
Oh,
we have a connection you just wouldn't believe.
I mean, I can believe that, I guess, but geez, I mean, you said you're sending Social Security money to him. If he owns the airlines, I mean, shouldn't he be able to buy his own toilet paper?
No, because nobody can fly, so they're on lockdown. I just wanted to call in and say, you know, the people of Africa, they're so romantic. I'm not surprised to hear that these two men fought to the death over their woman. I could see Washington doing the same thing for me.
Well, I mean, maybe if he was in Africa, but I honestly, Nadine, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think that you might be a victim of a scam.
I'm not. You don't know what you're talking about. Eat a dick.
What, did she just tell me to eat a dick?
Look, I mean, I feel bad for that woman.
If she wants to tell me to eat a dick, I tried to help her. She's going to be eating cat food in a few months at this rate.
Oh, come on. She's a vulnerable old lady. She's clearly falling for a scam. Have a heart.
Where do these people come from? Ragadu? What's Jesus. She doesn't even know where Papua New Guinea is on a map, and she's sending this guy all her retirement money.
Hopefully her kids can, like, prevent her from making a big mistake.
God, she sounded. Honestly, she doesn't sound like she's gonna last that long anyway.
That's true.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I guess this is as good of a time as any to use our hotline for some more productive use. We've actually got a wonderful guest. I'm excited to bring him on. I think he's lined up right now, right?
Yeah, he's on the other line. Let's bring him on.
All right, let's patch in Ben Hamin.
You know him from the Conspiracy Horsemen, the Friday Night Locker Room, and the Hamin Media Group. And Ben, thanks so much for joining us. How are you holding up with all this quarantine stuff going on?
No, I can't be kept down, my love. It's tough for a lot of our listeners out there, but we're keeping busy, always shifting, always pivoting. Some of my business shut down, but I've got other fronts to launder money through, so that's not a problem for me.
Definitely, yeah. You can say that there weren't a lot of people that were in this kind of position where everybody's trying to make podcasts now. Everybody's trying to take advantage of this, but you've been doing this for years.
Yeah, man. This is my. I know your listeners have a tough time hearing the truth from me, so I'll give it to you, War on Morons. But right now, I'll give you some infidel voice, so I know you can stomach some truth, because it's so hard for your small, smooth brains to handle it, morons. But yeah, man. We've been at this for a minute now, and for years, all I gave them was Ayatollah Telahi online, and I'm on every list there is, pretty much. But once I started speaking the truth and make it understand it a little bit easier, I would mix it in with whatever wrestling culture, because it's a lot of technical-minded people who are online, in these micro demographics interacting. So I said, watch this month be a 30% chance or 30% uptick in new podcasts. In about 5 months from now, there might be 2% of them remaining. So we'll see what the hustlers want to do, man. But I've been in this for a minute, so nothing comes easy. Everything in life's a 10,000-hour rule,
Definitely. Well, there's actually a question that we ask everybody that we bring into the War on Morons here.
Yeah.
We always like to ask, who is your favorite moron?
My favorite moron of all time? Oh, man. I got to go probably with Hillary Clinton on that one. One of the best of all time. To lose the presidential candidacy and then not come out and then send out a known child molester, pedophile to give your speech. That was pretty phenomenal. I thought that was a very bold move. And then, throwing up in the glass. I like everything she does. I think, I can't get enough of her MK Ultra, breakdowns, of her out of touch, stooging off that she's murdered people. That stuff is just great to me.
Nonstop content for the conspiracy horsemen. And unlike a lot of people, I don't think you're worried about her coming for you.
Oh, she tries to get me all the time. That's why Bill is always talking like that, because she's got a big strap on. She's always getting him up the ass. That's why he sounds like that all the time. I went over to their place down by New York City there, and I opened up a closet door, and there's just a rain of rubber dicks came down on me like a Mel DeMarco shoes. It was disgusting. I had to get out of there.
Run. Oh, man. Well, I had a question for you, especially with your background in wrestling. I mean, with everything being shut down, all the non-essential businesses, WrestleMania is still happening. Do you think that's moronic or genius?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You have to take the criticism, and hopefully that the product will be enough, because you have no competition with anything else, so people are starved for entertainment, right? So Vince McMahon is either the genius, or, with all genius there's madness. There's either madman to even try and do it, because with an empty arena, you're still reminding people that they're living in an insane time. It's not the WrestleMania that you know, so you're kind of reinforcing this dystopian future. So would it be better to try and push it till June? Maybe, when you can have everybody back together, but it's a crazy gamble, and the people I've talked to, everything's been in the can, and they're happy to be home and with their feet up, so they're not dealing with WWE craziness right now. But it's just maybe he'll come out looking like a brilliant man at the end, or maybe this is what sinks them in the end. I think we're in a really big gamble right now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, people don't really have a lot of other stuff to watch right now, so at least there's that.
Right, but yeah, that's the thing now. If they're watching your stuff and it's lackluster because what they expect from WrestleMania in their minds, and you give them empty arena wrestling, now have you done your product a disservice, or have you done a service to the world by providing their entertainment? That's the thing. How well can you pull it off? Now, based on the last 3 years of WWE creative and the way they've mailed things in or gotten zero really out of Elias or a Matt Hardy or, guys that should be megastars to draw, I don't have a lot of faith in them pulling it off. Sure, there'll be a couple moments here or there, but when you have something like a Bray Wyatt and you fuck that up again and again, what am I supposed to have any faith in them doing it right?
I definitely agree with you there. I think it's going to be creepy for fans to look back in years to come and watch it with no fans in the arena. It's definitely going to stand out.
Well, it'll be good for them because they'll have the network on for free in the FEMA camp, so it'll be on a big movie screen while you're, digging potatoes and whatnot, and you can look back and watch Brock and Ray and all those great moments. It'll be a good time for everybody.
Something to look forward to, for sure.
Yeah, you got to always look on the bright side.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, Ben, each week we comb the headlines to find the stupidest of the stupid as we wage a war on morons. And we're about to head into our next block of stories. Do you think you have some time to stick around and chime in on the next few?
I've always got time to destroy some morons. That's my it in life. That's what I'm here for.
Tremendous.
Awesome. Well, in Buffalo, New York, recently.
Oh, that shithole.
I knew you'd have something to say about that. An 18-year-old stole a car. Now, when the police tried to pull him over for driving erratically, he took off and crashed his car straight into the parking lot for the local police station.
Oof. Yeah, well, that sounds just like another night in North Tonawanda in Buffalo to me. That's most of the kids are born with fetal alcohol syndrome, and they don't stop it. They just keep them drinking Labatt Blue right from off the tit. So that's just normal out there in Buffalo. I imagine. I'm surprised that the cops were actually smart enough to even solve that crime, and I'm crashing through the front of his police station. To be honest with you, all you really need to know about Buffalo and some of the great human beings it produces is go take a look at Gronk's entrance from SmackDown the other night to be the host of WrestleMania. That's about the average Buffalo male right there.
I definitely understand that. I've known some people from Buffalo, and I can agree with you for sure. I think when you combine the rampant drinking and the alcohol syndrome that you run into with too much Grand Theft Auto, it's not really a surprise that we see this in the headlines.
Yeah, I mean,
you've seen their football fans. You've seen their football fans power bombing each other through tables. I say more of that. Let's get more of those idiots out on some gravel, on some concrete. Actually, light them on fire and power bomb each other to that. That's what we really want to see.
That's what we need for WrestleMania.
There we go.
Forget about the Performance Center. We need the Buffalo Bills tailgaters.
You could just go down to Chippewa Street any night you want on any Saturday night and see any half coked up douchebag doing the same thing on top of somebody's car with a piece of pizza in one hand and a half drank Molson Canadian in the other.
Oh, man. Surprisingly enough, this kid is not the worst getaway driver of the week this week. You're not going to believe this one.
Okay, so wait, the guy ran into a police station and he's not the worst.
He's not the worst, no.
All right, hit me.
Okay, so in Western Washington, a man was arrested for teaching his dog how to drive.
Oh, well, I mean, as long as it's not any type of Asian dog, like a Shar-Pei or anything like that, you don't want, if it's a dog you can trust, like a Doberman Pinscher or a Golden Retriever, I'd say maybe let him behind the wheel, but, some of those Asian dogs, they don't know how to drive at all. They should never be behind the wheel.
Oh, man, I think the most surprising part of the story for me was not a Shar-Pei, it was a pit bull, so you can rest assured there. We're on the right track, but I think where things really went off the rails is this guy was driving a 96 Buick and said, you know what, this is the perfect vehicle to put my dog behind the wheel and have him clock over 100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour?
In a 96 Buick.
And they say it's not a dangerous breed.
I think you nailed it. I mean, Mr. International Worldwide, he can drive anywhere internationally on the Autobahn, so he's probably used to going 100 miles an hour. A pit bull's a fast driver.
Oh, man, that's a good point. The eternal debate continues for sure. Dog people versus cat people.
Well, and after that Joe Exotic thing, I was, leaning toward the dog people, but none of them tried to teach a tiger how to drive.
That's true. Well, the cat people might just take the cake in this week's craziness because the recent Cats movie remake has been ridiculed for its horrible portrayal of the CGI humanoid cat thing. Super creepy. The people who made the film clearly had a lot of bad decisions that they made, but one of the worst has to be the fact that the entire movie had to have all the cat buttholes edited out. So there's a butthole edition of Cats the movie with all these cats walking around with their buttholes exposed that had to be edited out. I don't know what it is about this, but the internet's going crazy. People are clamoring for them to release the butthole cat of Butthole cut of Cats. Oh my God.
So is this based off the musical Cats, which is weird enough already?
Yes, they made a CGI version of it, and apparently they thought that all the cats needed to be anatomically correct.
Because there wasn't enough work out there for anorexic gay men to put on a bodysuit for you to see their nutsack and then to put makeup on and walk around for a while. We needed to do it CGI style instead and remove some buttholes.
It just goes to show that in this day and age, the more you can throw somebody into a bodysuit and get them acting flamboyant, the better. 2020 is all about it. I think we're only going to see more of it in the days to come.
Yeah, but they won't release the butthole cut.
I paid my ticket to see Rum Tum Tugger's Camel Toe, and if I can't see that, then I'm out of here. That's it.
Oh, man.
Memories all alone in the moonlight.
So you know more about cats than you were letting on initially, can't you?
When you've got 432 wives and they want to go see these Broadway shows, I have to buy out the whole goddamn theater. And here come these males in bodysuits, and they're licking themselves and putting themselves all over me. I mean, in the desert it gets lonely sometimes, and you don't have options. But this wasn't the place for it.
No, it sounds like the place for it. It sounds like you walked right into that one.
Although, I mean, who's really got time to worry about CGI buttholes when we're in the middle of the apocalypse?
Yeah, your life isn't too fucking hard if you're worrying about cat CGI buttholes, morons.
Right? Like, obviously they stocked up on plenty of toilet paper. They've got other things to worry about.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Speaking of which, is it Corona time?
It's Corona time.
Ooh,
Corona
all right.
time. Hey, it's Corona time right now. It's Corona time.
Oh, man. I can't believe, how many stories there are about idiots not paying attention to the coronavirus or just going about their everyday, regularly scheduled moronic antics without any change at all. Like, the whole world has changed, but they're like, you know what? I'm going to stick with what I've been doing.
It's really difficult for us not to just talk about the coronavirus for 45 minutes every week, but we refrain.
Us too on the Conspiracy Horsemen. I mean, we have to cover, obviously, the updates of whenever it is money or the 5G conspiracy or what they're trying to do with universal basic income or, all the things they're trying to slide through as we get it stooged off. But, there's so much of this Black Friday mentality, that the Nancy Brown morons are conditioned to. So let's hear, what are they doing?
Awesome. Well, in India, a young man had been traveling to Sri Lanka and was placed under quarantine when he arrived home to prevent the potential spread of coronavirus. Unfortunately, he suddenly ran out of his house naked and fatally bit an 80-year-old woman in his neighborhood. Now, the real story here isn't the coronavirus. It's really the fact that this is the start of a zombie apocalypse, clearly. Which we already knew we were going into an apocalypse, but I think this is the first zombie I've heard of come out of the coronavirus crisis.
Well, I think the main thing is you've seen what it is. We get so many things shipped to us from India and China. After they put it all on lockdown, they took all the bath salts from Miami and sent them over to India. Now you're seeing, their first Indian bath salt bitings as well. So
they're just trying to get caught up to us.
Yeah,
they're trying to be the new Florida.
Everybody wants to be America. Everybody wants to be us. Stay in bath salts, whatever.
Oh man, the bath salts will do it.
Maybe it was taking bath salts for the Corona cure.
Ooh, maybe the Corona cure.
Maybe they're sniffing that curry powder straight to the dome. That could be it as well.
Well, the naked zombie man actually has a lot in common with 12% of the remote workforce. Now, people who are working from home now might be kind of disturbed to learn that a new survey shows that, that coworker who won't turn his video on during your Zoom calls, it's likely off because he's naked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sad to say it's like half my coworkers that are affected by this. They will not turn their video on. I was very disturbed to find out that this is what the survey actually revealed. Like, people aren't getting dressed for conference calls?
Well, next week, actually, we're going to put that in on our show, and we're going to have Stevie Richards naked on the Conspiracy Horseman and the Friday Locker Room, trying to get those ratings up for all you ladies at home who might have your own closet of Hillary Clinton accessories.
Woo!
On that note, I think we should remind everybody, subscribe.
Yep.
Hamin Media Group, that's some of the best content that you're going to get. I listen every single week. Literally, how many shows do you guys have?
I think we're at about 18 to 20 shows, and we've been putting out a lot of special shows. We got a lot of great producers and new veteran talent coming to the platform that I'm excited about. Old friends be joining us to give them a great voice. So, if you're into wrestling, if you're into conspiracy, if you're into Star Wars, we have everything from South Park reviews, just conspiracy from Crow 777 and the Infinite Fringe as well. So there's a lot going on over there, and it's all free media, because great sponsors like the Morons.podbean.com make sure that you're getting free content through our platform and our sponsors that we go out and find. So I'm not trying to put anything behind a paywall. There may be some extended Patreon things that I do personally, but you can catch me there, usually 3-4 days a week reviewing every wrestling show, locker room shows, and then I'm also over with Vince Russo on Russo's brand doing great things with him there. So it's just nonstop production 7 days a week, and I'm very happy to be able to go out, beat the shit out of these infidels in the ring, then come back and talk about it on there and spit in their face once again.
I love it. All right, Ben. Well, we really appreciate you dropping in. Of course, you're welcome back anytime.
Yes. Hear me now, Hacker Hamin, the War on Morons, hackerhamin.podbean.com. YOLO!
All right, well, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you never know who's going to stop by the War on Morons.
Speaking of which, looks like we're already getting a call in our call-in line.
Awesome, 718.
All right, looks like New York is having a lot of excitement and free time on their hands these days, so I can only imagine what this will entail. Hello, caller, why don't you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, it's me, Rudy. I'm your baseball correspondent. I've been doing the reports for spring training.
Rudy, there is no baseball anymore.
I know there's no baseball. This is an emergency. I really could use some help from you guys. They got me locked up. They got me a false imprisonment.
What? Why are you calling us? Why aren't you calling 911?
I don't call 911. I fought in Vietnam. I killed 9 men. I don't need the damn police to get me out. But I don't like what this bitch is doing to me. And I think the people need to know, and you need to help me out, okay?
Where the hell are you?
I'm in Port St. Lucie in Florida. I was, I came down here to Florida for the spring training to tell you all, what's going on with the baseball. And I'm here in my daughter's house. And my daughter has this British fella that she's married to it. And they won't let me go home to New York.
Well, Rudy, honestly, I mean, they're probably trying to protect you. I mean, everybody's supposed to...
I don't need any protection. I can't believe these people that I'm scared to go outside. They say I'm going to get a cold, and I'm going to get sick, and I told them to suck it.
Well, it's not just a cold, Rudy. It's a pandemic, and...
I don't care if it's a pandemic. I don't care if it's a bear. I don't care if it's a cow flu again. I haven't had a bag of marijuana in 2 weeks. And my daughter, she won't get it for me. And then I gave her the number of my guy, Angelo, and I told her it's okay. I got money. I'll buy it. If you won't buy me my marijuana, she ran out of Xanax pills, or she hid the rest of them from me. They're all out of liquor. And they keep me in this room, locked up. They watched me. The other day I snuck out the window, and I went to the stores. It was a store in West Palm Beach, and the stick club. It wasn't even open. And then they came in and scooped me up. They knew I was there. It's not right. I'm a senior citizen. I fought for this country, and I didn't do it all to be locked up in some goddamn house in Port St. Lucie.
Well, look, Rudy, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the governor of Florida has told everybody that they need to stay in their homes.
The governor of Florida, he could kiss my ass. I haven't had it blow in almost a month. And all because of this what's it called? He told me it's a pandemic.
It's a pandemic, the coronavirus.
Yeah, because some Chinaman fucked a panda. I can't leave this stupid house. And it's not right. And they're all Nazi scum.
Oh my God. I honestly don't know why that man's children care so much about him. He's like a degenerate drug addict.
Did he? I'm sorry, I just can't with this guy. How is he as old as he is if he's using every drug in the world and he's drunk all the time?
I literally do not know.
Did you see he climbed out the window?
I can't. I mean, look, it just brings us to our next story.
Oh my God.
Because speaking of stay-at-home orders and social distancing guidelines, despite all of that, police in New Jersey just broke up a house party in which 47 people and a DJ crammed into a 550 square foot apartment.
Wow.
I literally don't even know what to say about this one. I mean, even in perfect non-COVID-19 conditions, I wouldn't want to be crammed into an apartment in New Jersey with nearly 50 people.
I wouldn't want to be in an apartment in New Jersey with 2 people.
Sounds like the perfect place for Rudy, though.
Jeez. Well, yeah, why don't they let Rudy go back up north?
Yeah.
He'd fit in.
He'd fit right in. And while we're on the subject of asking for trouble, supposed comedian Kathy Griffin was caught red-handed trying to pretend she has the coronavirus.
Oh, I see. She was probably trying to get the day off set.
Offset for what? Kathy Griffin doesn't have any gigs.
That's right. It's not 1995.
The notorious Trump hater wasted zero time in blaming the president for her supposedly contracting COVID-19.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull up her Twitter. I think I see it right here. It says, that orange bastard snuck into my hospital room and injected me full of the coronavirus.
It does not.
I would believe that, though.
I know. She was really just blaming him for his bad handling of the virus. The hilarious part here is that Griffin never had the coronavirus. Surprise, surprise. She had an abdominal infection.
Wow. Wait till Michael Moore comes out and says Trump made him fat. or who's that other idiot? The guy from Alec Baldwin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Trump made him an asshole.
Right. Well, speaking of fake coronavirus cases, one Canadian McDonald's employee didn't want to go to work and thought that the best way to handle it would be to hand in a fake doctor's note stating she had COVID-19. Now,
it seems like there could have been like some steps before that if you just want the day off.
Right. Could have been, but no. So this led to the McDonald's location to close and begin working with public health officials. They had to sanitize the entire restaurant. I mean, it was a big mess for this McDonald's location. Cost them a lot of money.
Yeah, these are the people that want to be paid $15 an hour to flip hamburgers.
This person aside, I mean, if they're really working in these times, I mean, they are essential workers.
You know, the only positive thing that I get from this story is at least there's one McDonald's out there that you know has a clean kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to get a 20-pack of McNuggies during the apocalypse, you know where to go.
Yeah.
Moving on, for our next stories, we're going to quickly take a look at how countries across the world are taking on COVID-19. Starting off in India.
Before we start it, let's put the music back on.
Let's
put the music on?
I love that song.
All right, here we go.
It's Corona time.
Oh, man.
It's
All right,
Corona
starting
time right
off
now.
in India, where a traffic officer is sporting a Corona helmet to warn people to stay indoors.
Yeah, this dude looks like a combination of the germ emoji and Jar Jar Binks.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be pretty scared if I walked outside my house and saw a cop walking around with like 20 red dildos glued to his helmet.
Hey, if he really wants to scare people, he should take a cue from our police here in the States.
What do you mean?
Just start shooting unarmed civilians.
Oh, okay. Now that is truly terrifying. Moving right on.
Well, actually, that actually brings up what they're doing in the Philippines.
That's true. The Philippines president is like, if you go outside your house during this coronavirus thing, I'm not going to arrest you. I'm not going to start any trouble. I'm just going to shoot you.
Yeah, that kills coronavirus dead.
Moving on. Mexico's president has gone on record stating that he believes the heart of Jesus will protect the country from coronavirus.
Okay.
He is continuing to attend mass public rallies, shaking hands, kissing babies, and when he was asked how he's protecting Mexico, Lopez Obrador removed 2 religious amulets from his wallet and proudly showed them off, claiming that they were the heart of Jesus and would form a protective shield.
All right. Since he's got magic and since Jesus is involved, maybe they'll do something about the cartels.
I don't know if magic amulets are really going to put a stop to the cartels or the coronavirus, but I have to say, at least Mexico's leader has some form of a plan in place, however questionable it may be. The Brazilian president is even less prepared, stating, "We will rely on our natural immunity." Now, he went on record saying, "The Brazilian needs to be studied. He doesn't catch anything. You see a guy jumping into sewage, diving in, right? Nothing happens to him." I think a lot of people were already infected in Brazil weeks or months ago, and they already have the antibodies that will help it not proliferate. I'm hopeful that's a reality.
Okay, natural immunity and hope. I mean, really, really lovely strategy, but can we back up for a minute? The president of a major country is basically bragging about the fact that he's got citizens that regularly swim in sewage.
Yeah, I really don't know why he thought that was a selling point.
And like half the country has HIV. Like, I don't.
But they don't catch anything.
They don't catch anything else.
Right, right. Well, we'll just leave that one alone. Moving on to Belarus, where one leader says that tractors and vodka are the answers to curing the coronavirus.
Right, sounds fair.
Does it?
Well, sounds like fun.
Okay. According to President Alexander Lukashenko, the recipe for staying healthy is drinking vodka, working hard in the countryside, and visiting the sauna. There was no mention of whether a tracksuit is also part of his health plan, although I suspect that it is.
It sounds like they're just trying to trick people into being good, citizens. Like, yes, go keep farming. Yes, relax, drink a vodka, visit sauna. But keep the farming. We need more potatoes. I don't know if that's how they sound in Belarus. That's my best guess.
Let's leave all that alone. It sounds like the world is kind of dealing with this coronavirus in a hot mess type of fashion. But meanwhile, here in America, New York City's not doing much better.
Hey, well, they're saying that New York knows what they're doing. They're saying that guy Cuomo, the governor, they're trying to trot him out to run for president. I'm sure New York City's got it under wraps. Well, what are we doing here in America?
Well, NYC's health department claims they finally have the answer to ending the coronavirus. They have gone ahead and declared war on rim jobs in a graphic health department memo.
What?
Yep, that's right. That's right.
A war on rim jobs.
Yeah, don't go licking people's assholes and you won't catch coronavirus. That's the answer. That's all you have to do.
I think that makes us sound worse than the Brazilians. Though, to be fair, they're probably still doing it.
What does that say about all the people in New York with coronavirus? What does that say about them?
Yeah, I mean, it's as if they're a millennial, they're going to die.
Yep, I think it goes without saying. If you're being advised to stay 6 feet away from people, your first instinct probably shouldn't be to go licking their asshole.
Yeah, unless you're in a shitty Andrew Lloyd Webber film adaptations.
What?
The butthole cut!
Okay, that's enough.
Bring back the butthole cut! Oh, hey, look, we're getting a call.
Oh, boy. All right, let's see who this is. Hello, caller. Why don't you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, this is Laquinta in Detroit. How you doing?
Hey, Laquinta. I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
That's right. We all doing right. Hey, I'm so happy. I'm so excited, too. I just had to call you. I heard y'all talking about all them presidents.
About the presidents?
Oh, I love the president. President Donald Trump. I love that motherfucker. hey, we got the best president in the world. We got the best president we ever had. It's a wonderful time, huh?
I gotta say, Laquinta, I'm a little surprised to hear you saying that.
No, you tell. Hey, everybody watching me on TV today. Make sure you, I'm gonna go out to vote. You vote 2 times. You don't vote 3 times. Get the kids to vote. The Donald Trump giving us all the money. Did you hear about the money?
Do you mean the coronavirus stimulus package?
He giving me like $5,000. Donald Trump.
Wait a minute, LaQuinta, how are you getting $5,000? People are only getting $1,200.
He gave me $1,200, just for myself. And then Laquinta give me $500 for that child. The Deontay give me $500 for that child. Degenerate giving me $500 for that child. Razaboo giving me $500 for that.
Razaboo?
I got so many children. Oh, Lord, hold on. TV, motherfucker. You need to shut up.
Okay, LaQuinta.
I swear, these children. I can't wait till I get my check. Once I get my check, I will get rid of every single one of these motherfuckers.
Oh my God, you can't get rid of your children, LaQuinta. I mean, you're kind of stuck with them now.
I don't need them. I just need them to get my money. I need them to get my Trump check. I'll get my Trump check, put it in my neck, in the ass, money, motherfucker. Here we go.
Wait, LaQuinta.
I'm so killing off.
LaQuinta, the only reason we're getting those checks is because most people are out of work.
Listen, that's their fault. That's their own fault. I ain't had a job in 20 years. You don't see me going hungry. Hey, you get away from that TV. You turn that TV on, they can't hear me. I'm on the news. You little bitch, I'll beat your ass so raw it's gonna fucking look like.
Whoa, okay, LaQuinta.
Oh, these children just so rambunctious. They always clowning all over the couch. They get me in all kinds of trouble. And I'm just trying to make sure I get you good, because I know y'all like it when I come in on the TV program. So you don't have to worry about it. Motherfucker! Put your dog down! Put your dog down! I'll kill you! I will kill you as soon as I get my fucking check for Donald Trump!
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to deal with the situation. I have to deal with the situation, but just remember, y'all make sure y'all vote for Trump. Vote for Trump.
Okay, I have to say, I really hope Child Protective Services falls under the factor of essential workers here because,
I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. The stimulus checks should not be going to people like that. I'm sorry.
The stimulus check shouldn't be like a cause for celebration.
Did she say did she tell that child she was going to kill the child as soon as she got her check?
I hope schools reopen really soon because that was very concerning. On that note, let's just wrap up the show. I don't think I can take another call today.
I don't think it could get any worse, so let's call it a week. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Remember, thewaronmorons.podbean.com,
where we speak truth to stupidity. See you next week.